How's it going, everybody? You're watching Daniel Tech, and today I've got another video about the iPhone XR, and this time we've got a battle, a head-to-head. Today I'm gonna compare the iPhone XR to the iPhone 8 Plus. So let's go ahead and get started. If you follow me, you know that quite recently I posted a full review of the iPhone XR, and of course with the full review I ended up comparing it with the iPhone X, the XS and the XS Max, because I ended up comparing a lot with the 10 series, so all of the newer devices. But then I realized the closest competition to the iPhone XR is the iPhone 8 Plus because of its price. The iPhone XR is priced at $750, whereas the iPhone 8 is priced at $700. So it's just a $50 difference, and you may think that the iPhone XR is much more superior because it's a newer phone, it's a 10 series phone, but actually you may be surprised that the iPhone 8 Plus has some features, some very interesting features that the iPhone XR doesn't. By the way, if you still haven't, check out my iPhone XR full review. I'm gonna have the link in the description. It is the first link, and I'm also gonna put a card right here, so just click on the corner here and you can go there as well. So let's put them head to head in the most important categories, and by the end you'll know which is best. So the first category I want to talk about is, of course, camera. So the iPhone 8 Plus has a dual camera system, so it has one main camera and a second telephoto camera, and that enables portrait mode, while the XR has just one camera. And while it can also do portrait mode, it can take photos in portrait mode, it has some limitations, so I'll explain what those limitations are in a second. So the camera test is going to consist in a 3-photo battle. So first of all, you're seeing this first image right there is from a landscape in a very well lit environment, so there's a lot of lighting, so you should get very crisp, very awesome photos. You are seeing right now on the right you're seeing from the 8 Plus, and on the left from the iPhone XR, and then you can see which one is best. After that we have a second photo with not a lot of light, and again on the right the 8 Plus, on the left the iPhone XR, and you can see how they stack up against each other. And last but not least we have the portrait mode thing. So the thing is, with the iPhone 8 Plus you can take portrait mode, you can take portrait photos from any object that you want. You just point at any object, you take the photo, and it's gonna blur the background and do that awesome effect that we all love. But with the iPhone XR you actually can't, because you just have one camera, as I mentioned, you have one single unit. You cannot take portrait mode of any object. You can only do portrait shots of people, of human beings. So if you're taking of one person or a group of people, it can understand and it can blur the background because it is using software. But if you're taking a photo of an object, it's gonna say no humans detected, so you can't do that portrait mode shot, and that's a bummer. That's very important. It works with both front-facing camera and back-facing camera, okay, the rear-facing camera, but the same story with both cameras. It can only take portrait mode of human beings, okay, so that's a very bad limitation. So because of this huge limitation, obviously the iPhone 8 Plus takes this round, because it can do pretty much the same thing as the iPhone XR can, but it can do this extra thing, which is portrait mode of absolutely everything. Of course, probably you have realized that the photos of the normal photos that you saw of the landscape and in the low light conditions were a little bit better on the iPhone XR, because the camera, the single unit camera, the main camera is better, and the processor is better as well, so you get better photos. But the portrait mode thing is just a game changer, so iPhone 8 Plus wins that first round. Next we're gonna talk about 3 things, but actually are just in one item because they stay in the same place, which are screen, size, and biometrics. So first let's talk about the screen. As you guys can obviously see, the screens, their size is different, and of course the form factor is also very different. On the iPhone XR you've got almost an edge-to-edge screen. Of course you have bigger bezels than the iPhone X and XS. They're slightly big, but you can compare with the huge bezels on the iPhone 8 Plus. So the screen is definitely better. The screen technology itself is pretty much the same. They're both LCD screens with pretty much the same resolution, so there's no need to go in depth here. The only difference is that on the iPhone XR you've got a liquid retina display, so it's a rounded corner LCD screen, whereas on the iPhone 8 you have a normal square LCD screen, but the quality, resolution is all the same. Okay, now let's talk about the size, the body size. As you guys can see, the iPhone XR and the iPhone 8 Plus have a relatively similar body size when you check the front and you check the back as well. But when you check the side, you can see that the iPhone 8 Plus is thinner than the iPhone XR. And when you feel and with the specs as well, you can definitely tell that the iPhone 8 Plus is lighter than the iPhone XR. This is something that really bothered me with this device, is that the XR is quite heavy. I didn't really got used to the fact that it's pretty heavy, especially if you're handling with one hand. It is pretty heavy. So that's something to keep in mind as well. And in the same category, I want to talk about biometrics, because obviously the iPhone XR doesn't have a home button, so it doesn't have Touch ID. It uses Face ID as the biometric system to unlock and to use Apple Pay on it. So you gotta get used to it. It's a little bit different. So the iPhone 8 Plus has a more usual and older system with the home button and obviously the fingerprint scanner. And with this, it changes the way you use your device, not only to unlock it but also to navigate. Because with the 8 Plus, you use the home button to press and go home, whereas the XR, you always have to use gestures. Same thing with multitasking and also invoking the command center. So regarding the way you navigate, it's pretty much the same. I think I got used to the XR, but the iPhone 8 Plus is as good as that, so I don't think one is better than the other really. Now back to the biometrics, it's kind of a personal preference, because some people prefer Touch ID because it works better for them, they're used to it, and Touch ID is much faster than Face ID. And some people prefer Face ID because it's very convenient when your finger is wet or something, or your hands are dirty. It doesn't affect the sensor because it's reading your face, and of course it's more modern and it is more secure. I prefer Face ID. I got used to it. It's very good. It is not as fast, but it's very good, very secure, and it works pretty much every time. So this round, regarding the size, the screen, and biometrics, the iPhone XR is gonna take it, because the only advantage the iPhone 8 Plus has is that it is a little bit lighter, but I'm not gonna give the whole round because of just that. Next, we're gonna talk about speed. I could do this speed test in two different ways. First way is running a Geekbench, so showing you the data and showing you numbers representing the speed, which is the way I'm gonna do, because the other way is just comparing opening apps and doing things like that, and it takes a lot of time, and the difference is just a few seconds here and a few seconds there. So long story short, the iPhone XR is faster than the iPhone 8. There's no question about that, and mainly because of the processor. The iPhone XR uses the A12 Bionic, whereas the 8 Plus uses the A11 Bionic. So it's using an older generation processor. So right there, there's nothing much to discuss. There's no debate. The iPhone XR is faster than the 8 Plus. And when you get both of them brand new out of the box, you can't really tell the difference because it's not so huge. But over the months, and especially over the years, then you can definitely tell, because the 8 Plus is gonna age much faster than the XR, which is gonna take a little bit longer to show its age. Now I'm gonna talk about battery life. I already have to tell you that the iPhone XR has the best battery life on any iPhone right now. Even the XS Max, which is the most expensive, the biggest, the newest, top of the line, but still the iPhone XR has the best battery available right now in the whole iPhone lineup. And you can see here, going through settings, so if we go here on battery usage, you can see that I get a full usage of battery, so 100% or close after using for 7 hours 40 minutes, 6 hours and 20, 6 hours and 20, 6 hours and 40. So it's around that of 7 hours and 40 to 6 hours and 40, which is a lot of battery usage. That's screen on time, okay? Whereas on the iPhone 8 Plus, you have it like a screen time of 3 hours and 50. Let's go to the second one. So 5 hours and 40 is more like it, but still 4 hours 25. Yeah, so its usage is very, very limited compared to the iPhone XR. You get more or less 2 hours more of battery life. And of course I have to point out that this iPhone 8 Plus is a little bit older than the iPhone XR, so you can see some discrepancies here, but still you can get more than 1 hour of screen on time on the iPhone XR. So round 4 is again won by the iPhone XR. And last but not least, I'm going to talk about 3D Touch. So 3D Touch is a feature that we all know. You press with a little bit of force on the screen and you get a different option. You get generally a different different menu, a different option than your normal single tap, your normal light tap on the screen. So we all got used to 3D Touch, we all generally use it quite a lot, and the iPhone XR actually doesn't have this feature. It doesn't have 3D Touch. So it is actually the only iPhone since the iPhone 6s that doesn't have this feature. All iPhones from the 6s all the way to the XS Max have 3D Touch, and the iPhone XR doesn't because of the LCD, the Liquid Retina display. It doesn't have this feature. Of course, it can compensate with software, so iOS can compensate the lack of 3D Touch, as you guys are seeing right now. With Control Center, you can do it. You can do it with your live photos as well, so you tap and hold and you can see the photos moving and all. So you can compensate with iOS, but some features are not there, okay? So even iOS can compensate some features, like trying to open an app with 3D Touch. You can't tap and hold on an app. And to get that sub menu, you can have that. Whereas on the 8 Plus, of course, you have full 3D Touch, full support. It works normally and perfectly. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. So the final result is 3 to the iPhone XR and 2 to the iPhone 8 Plus. So the iPhone XR is clearly the winner. So, but you have to consider a few things. First, the XR is $50 more expensive. Second, you have to see if those features that the XR is superior matter to you. And in my opinion, they do matter. So you have a faster phone, so you have better performance, you have better battery life, you have a better screen, and newer and more secure biometrics with Face ID. But of course, you have to consider the other side. So the iPhone 8 Plus is a little bit cheaper, has a camera with more features. It's not necessarily better, but it has more features, and of course, it has 3D Touch. So if that's important to you, that's something to consider. So my verdict: buy the iPhone XR if you are considering buying the iPhone 8 Plus. Just buy it. It's newer, it's a new generation, it's better. Go and spend $50 more. You're not gonna regret it. So that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to hit the like button down below. Also click on this bubble right here with my face. Okay, so click on this bubble, then click on subscribe, and then on the bell icon to get notified when I post a new video, and then click on this video right here to see my full review of the iPhone XR. So if you're thinking about buying the iPhone XR, you really need to see that video. So that's pretty much it, and I'll see you guys on Thursday. Bye bye.